Yes, I get it. Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am back with the Royal Ramble with Jonathan Mellis, Freddie Flores, and Azrael.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Orange County Championship Wrestling's Royal Ramble, where we will be talking about all things wrestling, local, national, international, and global. To my left is the legendary... To the left is the legendary Death from above, below, and all sides. He is known as Azrael, the Prince of Pain, Darkness, and anything sinister.
All of those things are true and much, much more, which we'll find out on February 23rd at the Heartbreak City Rumble in Westminster?
Yes, the Boys and Girls Club in Westminster.
Boys and Girls Club.
To my right, from Philadelphia, Fighting Freddie Flores.
Fighting Freddie Flores, indeed, John. Happy to be here. Happy to be beside you. Let's talk wrestling.
Wrestling it is, wrestling it shall be. And in the background, the voice
I'm back.
of choice.
The voice of choice.
The best in-ring, out-ring voice that you're going to hear, Joey.
The Bull Santana. Now, Azrael, are you clear to go to the Boys and Girls Club? I want to make sure, because I remember you had a little issues in that facility.
It's not just for boys and girls. It's over 18. It's over
Just want to make sure.
Is there a bar at the Boys and Girls
There
Club?
is no bar at the Boys and Girls Club, no.
What do the kids do?
What do you mean, what do the kids do?
What do they do for fun at the Boys
Ladies
and
and gentlemen, for those of you, for the
I don't
uninitiated,
have kids. You have kids.
Saturday, February 23rd, at the Westminster Boys and Girls Club in Westminster, California, we will be having our annual Heartbreak City Rumble. That's right, 20-man over-the-top rope battle royal for the number one contendership to the Orange County Championship Wrestling heavyweight title and Goose and Thunder Uberstude. Now, you'll see Freddie Flores in action that night. You'll see Azrael in action that night. Big names like Mikey O'Shea, B.A. Marcus Frey, Richie Slade versus Vintage Dragon will be our featured singles match. You're going to see...
Wait. No. I'm the featured singles match.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Also featuring Richie Slade and Vintage Dragon.
And some wrestling.
Also wrestling. Other stuff will happen. But I am taking on Danny Moon. I am going to be going over the moon. The bad moon will not be rising. I am going to be triumphant on the 23rd.
Before we get too deep into what we got going on the 23rd, let's talk a little bit about... Well, let's put a topic out there. You know, every week we like to have a topic, pose a question to our listeners /watchers /viewers /downloaders. And I know you had a real special idea tonight for our topic on the table.
I do. Who is the most overrated talent in the history of professional wrestling?
Hulk Hogan.
No, not Hulk Hogan.
You stole the words right out of my mouth.
Without Hulk Hogan,
Yes, there absolutely would be.
A fool answer.
I think that's an easy answer, all right? So I'm glad he took it, because now I'm going to have to force to think of someone. Well, I would have to go with the Ultimate Warrior.
Who beat Hulk Hogan?
We need a census. Hulk
What
Hogan's
about
being the Ultimate Warrior before?
Should we remove Goldberg, Ultimate Warrior, and Hulk Hogan from the picture? Because
Brock Lesnar.
Why do you hate Hulk Hogan?
he sucks.
He did
Hulk
two
Hogan
things.
does not suck.
He's terrible.
Won 9 WrestleManias in a row, headlined by Hulk Hogan.
Let me tell you why I don't.
It would be Vince McMahon in the Northeast Territory at the Boys and Girls Club
In Westminster.
If not for Hulk Hogan.
It wouldn't be in Westminster. I'd run him out of my town.
And he beat Zeus. Don't forget that. He beat Zeus.
And he did beat Zeus.
Tell you
Let me tell you why I do not like Hulk Hogan. This is a pretty simple explanation. First of all, it's one thing if you don't like his style of wrestling, right? It's like, all right, you don't like this the kind of face that he is, right? The kind of just, always beating guys, quickly, right? What I don't like about it, and you can say what you want about the big boot, leg drop, hulking up, right? That was terrible. He was an insult to my intelligence. But the one thing I really did not like about Hulk Hogan, as a fan when I was younger, as a fan as I got older, and looking back now, seeing as how he helped destroy WCW, the way that Ric Flair, who, really laid his pound of flesh out there for the wrestling gods, Ric Flair was his whipping boy in the WWF, in WCW, never once did Hulk Hogan put Ric Flair over. Every time he turned around, there was Ric Flair, the greatest wrestler ever, you know, dropping the title to Hulk Hogan.
But Hulk Hogan's 300 some odd pounds.
And he's
versus
6'10".
Ric Flair, who was like 60 years old when he was fighting Hulk
Now,
Hogan.
they're
In the 70s.
I bet you they're about the same
He was
age.
born 60
Joey the
years
Bull, or maybe if our friend Dustin Lawyer out there could look this up, tell us what the age difference between Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair is. I'm pretty sure it's pretty close to the same.
It's what the character of Hulk Hogan was. The big guy's hitting him, and then Hulk Hogan shakes it off because he's got the Hulkamaniacs behind him, and then he comes back with the stuff. He didn't need to do all the fancy moves that he could do. I saw Hulk Hogan wrestle in Japan when he was a young man in 1980, 1981, and he's doing the roll-ups and the flippy-flip and the 450 splash and then the leg drop DDT with the tiger drain.
Let me tell you, look,
Flying Dragon DDT.
the entire wrestling world put Hulk Hogan over. From Andre the Giant to Ric Flair.
65 Hulk Hogan, 69 Ric Flair.
Okay, so 4 years. So there's not that big a difference.
So he was born 60 years old. You're right.
Yeah, he was born 60 years old. So, no, here, let me finish my point. Hulk Hogan, everyone in the wrestling business put Hulk Hogan over. From Andre the Giant to Ric Flair to Randy Savage, etc., Iron Sheik, etc., okay? And then when it was time to give the rub to some other people, i.e. the NWO, Hulk Hogan didn't want a job to Jeff Jarrett. Hulk Hogan didn't want to put Sting over. Hulk Hogan didn't put Goldberg over and then did that finger poke of doom nonsense. Hulk Hogan was, you can say, the best thing that ever happened, but he was also the worst thing that happened to wrestling in that him, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall were key to crashing WCW and putting it under.
They brought them their only victory that they had ever had over the WWF in any shape or form.
That's what we
Whenever
call a
they had-
Pyrrhic victory, Azrael.
They had to have anything having to do with any kind of storytelling, they couldn't do it. All Eric Bischoff could ever do was have the guys have their real name because they would have got sued if they would have called them Diesel and Razor Ramon. If they wouldn't have got sued, they would have been Diesel and Razor Ramon.
Sure. But my point is, right, Hulk Hogan was so... I don't know if he didn't What am I
Real quick, Dustin Lawyer. He says, I named a lobster Ric Flair, but my cat Hulk Hogan ate it.
And that sounds like something that would happen. You know, the big, strong Hulk Hogan would just eat the crafty little... He's got the little lobster claws doing the chops, I'm sure. He's got the little lobster going, woo!
And Ric Flair does turn red a lot, so I can imagine. You know.
Having pretty much the same match 800 times in a row. Oh, he's going to the top for some reason. This is going to work. Oh, damn it.
Okay,
no,
wait a minute.
shameful,
All right.
no.
All right. Oh, look.
How dare
The
anyone-
heel's getting that. Oh, he's beating Hulk Hogan. He's
Oh,
punching
no.
him. He's going to. Oh, Hulk Hogan's going to. Wait. Oh, my God. Oh, no. I can't believe it. Hulk Hogan's getting strength from the heavens. Blow me.
It's
He
a
says
WWE
prayers and
universe.
vitamins.
And Coke. Coca-Cola.
It was the 80s, you know? That was time to be alive.
Oh, yeah, brother. Oh, yeah.
And you are also Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan did about 4 things.
And
I
all
think-
of them led him to victory.
I
after
mean,
victory.
he's still Hulk Hogan, so it's not gonna change anything. But at the end of the day, viva la raza, and Hulk Hogan is still Hulk Hogan. I mean, he put, if anything, wrestling on the map. You know, from 70s on to right now, you can't go anywhere without knowing Hulk Hogan. You
He
can't
beat
go to
up Rocky.
Japan,
He
but
beat
he
up
did beat up
Rocky.
Rocky.
No. Wait a minute. Hold on. Rocky got back in and put it to him. Threw him out of the ring. Rocky is like 5'9". Hulk Hogan's supposedly 6'8". I'm sorry, lumber lips or whatever the hell
Thunder
it
lips.
is.
Thunder lips. Lumber lips.
The ultimate male, Thunder Lips.
Lumber lips.
They built him at 7'4"
Yeah,
for some reason. Because Sylvester Stallone's 5'2" and basically a woman. And then he had to fight Hulk Hogan. And
So-
you got Mr. T involved in wrestling.
Okay, so you're gonna say Hulk Hogan is the most
Hulk Hogan,
overrated.
Ultimate Warrior, but
What about y'all out there? Who do you think is the most overrated, excluding Hulk Hogan? Do you think Goldberg? Do you think perhaps maybe it's someone maybe
Brock Lesnar.
I don't know if he's overrated. I mean, I don't know
Now?
anybody. I don't know anybody who says that man is,
Well, to his face.
I think everyone.
Man seems quite taken.
That's about it. What about
Especially when he
CM
throws a
Punk?
belt at
CM
him.
Punk is the most overrated piece
He is the
of
best.
trash
No, he is the
history
best
of wrestling.
wrestler in the
No,
world.
CM Punk is garbage.
He is the
Always
best
has been
in the
garbage.
world.
That is one person who got his head stuck so far up his own
Oh,
backside.
man,
There's
I
a
don't
whole
know.
hype machine behind him. International forum to talk about whatever you want to go on in the world. And I see Phil Brooks go, I didn't get my face on the ice cream bar. John Cena has his face on ice creams.
Wow.
Exactly.
And that's the pipe bomb that sets the world ablaze. Could talk about any kind of the crazy things that I do on a weekly basis, make everybody very, very uncomfortable. But Phil Brooks with an international form, I don't get to be on the ice cream. I was only champion for a year. They're not doing anything with me.
I
How
agree.
dare they make me wrestle the Undertaker at WrestleMania? I'm an underutilized talent.
And for some reason the numbers went down when I was champion, and they went back up when I wasn't. But
Shamefully,
shame on them. I know.
The most average human being in the history of human beings.
I agree. And
You
then
look at the look. He looked like he lurched out of the crowd after a 3-day drunk.
that fool
Wow.
fool swallowed so much of his own bathwater that he figured that he was going to go into the UFC and fight there. And people were saying he's been training every day for 2 years. He's ready for the UFC. I'm like, every day for 2 whole years,
Right.
and now he's in the UFC. Unbelievable.
How do you feel about that?
You know what? I feel just fine because I watched him get his ass handed to him on a silver platter.
Yeah, but
Well, no,
he's
look.
done jiu-jitsu for like 57 years.
Yeah.
He was born 60 years old.
Well, I've had my opportunities too. So
I just want to give
I'm bitter
a
about
quick
that.
shout out to. We have a big female audience today.
Yes, we
we
do.
got CJ watching. We got Amanda watching. We got Jessica Sky. We got K-Cat. And we got Mindy Hinojosa.
I love you, girl.
That's what I'm talking about.
All of them.
All of them. Yes, absolutely. All right.
Well, what do you like about CM Punk?
He's the best wrestler in the world.
Says who? Says him.
His tights.
Says him. Says his band.
His shirt.
What did he ever do?
He did a lot. Well, it was
The little knee
pre
thing.
WWE
Oh, when he was in
Ring of Honor when he had many matches
Okay,
with Samoa
okay.
Joe, Bryan Danielson.
Here's the thing. All right, let's look at it from this perspective. You think Hulk Hogan's the most overrated? When Hulk Hogan became the champion, he took the WWF to unprecedented heights. Helped take it to WrestleMania. It is now the name brand. When you say Kleenex, you're thinking of tissues. When you say
Catsup?
no. When you say when you say wrestling, you say WWE, right? You know what I'm saying? When you say, what's the other one? Pampers or diapers, whatever. You think, right? So he took it to that, helped take it to that height, right? When what's his name? Phil Bloom?
CM Punk.
CM Punk was at Ring of Honor. Did he help lift Ring of Honor?
Yes.
Anything other than Ring of Honor? Because I still have trouble finding it on my.
I'm not saying
dish.
you're wrong, but you're right.
I mean, in fact, I find Major League Wrestling easier than I find Ring of Honor. I can find Impact Wrestling, but I can't find Ring of Honor. I can.
OCCW is on OCCW Prime on your YouTube.
Subscribe.
You can see us on February 23rd.
So like and subscribe. Do not miss.
But Phil Brooks is just an average physical human being and the absolute worst natural fighter in the history of fighters.
I don't know if I can go that far, but it's pretty bad.
He trained with the best people that he could possibly. He has all the money in the
Right,
world.
right.
He got everybody in the world, and he got it handed to him.
Well,
it was the worst thing to ever happen.
And there's no shame in losing a fight at the UFC level. My problem is that you think having no amateur fights, no pro fights, that you are going to walk in for the first time in your life and be competitive. You horse's ass.
That was terrible.
Right? That's an insult to all of us guys who drove 200 miles to fight for $200 in front of 200 people.
Did you ever fight the Undertaker at WrestleMania, though? I mean, a lot of people had seen him do that and wanted to see what he would do against, somebody who's not.
Fair enough. No.
48 years old.
As the promoter, if I'm promoting an MMA show and CM Punk says, "Hey, I want to fight," I'd be like, "Absolutely, come in here. We'll put you in with someone who's the easiest fight we can find for you." Okay, this guy. Yeah. And then I don't care if you get your dick handed to you. It's just the way it is.
At least, what's his name put up a good fight? That We the People, that guy that held his hand.
Jack
He-
Swagger?
elbows up the ass. The guy was badass.
And that was fine because he fought at a lower level. And he's moving his way up. And Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley.
And the same thing happened to Brock Lesnar when he first came in. His second fight he fought in the UFC. and got heel hooked, right?
Just as a WWE talent, UFC aside, CM Punk as an interview, the vaunted, the pipe bomb, the reality based, all the nonsense. He waves to Colt Cabana. Hi, Colt Cabana. And like that's what sets people on fire. He mentioned an indie guy on WWE TV.
Yeah.
I think I just shot my load in my fence.
Hey, okay.
I'm at home. God, I can't wait to find AEW and have them mention each other on the other programs.
I was just going to say, is he ever, if he
No.
really wants to
No.
prove it,
He
why
hates
won't
wrestling.
why won't he
He
go to AEW? Oh, because he hates wrestling?
Yeah, he does not. He said before he's never going to wrestle again.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay, well, good. I'm not going to
Ever.
miss you because I didn't watch the WWE while you were champ.
Jonathan
Not a
Mattis
single
is
time.
offering you $2 million cash if you show up
No, but I'll offer you another beatdown like you got from.
Probably.
at any OCCW event and take on our heavyweight champion.
Oh yeah, that would be nice.
By the way, Vegas says the fabulous Freddie Flores is my favorite wrestler.
Boom.
Well, yeah, he's your favorite wrestler, your favorite male, probably your favorite cuddle buddy.
And Dustin Lawyer says CM Punk versus SoCal Punk in a cage match.
All right. Oh, there's Danny Limelight telling me to shut my mouth. You know what? Why don't you shut your mouth, Danny Limelight, around this, okay?
Did
All right.
he lose his last match in Rhode Island?
I have no idea. I don't know what goes on in a state smaller than my backyard. He might be the champion there, too, you know?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
You don't know. He might be.
Everybody wants to hear you talk, Freddie. Say something interesting.
Interesting.
Ladies and gentlemen, Freddie
okay,
Flores.
so Goldberg. All right, so even people that are big and just muscular, they get put over in WWE, correct?
Well, sometimes.
They don't need anything, right? Brock Lesnar, right now.
Oh, Brock Lesnar.
Doesn't-
Okay, you have to understand the concept of Brock Lesnar. He's kind of a throwback to the times when kayfabe was in full effect and people really believed that Bruno Sammartino was going to fight Larry Zbyszko and it was an actual athletic contest. Those times existed, and I remember hearing it, talking to my grandfathers, like how when they talked about John Tolos and Freddie Blassie, the way they talked about it is the way like you and I talk about Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. There was a real, genuine respect because they thought that they were, they believed that it was an actual contest. So by bringing Brock Lesnar in, you may draw back some of that. Not those people, because those people are now gone. But they're going to draw back some of that investment. Maybe. Oh, look, that guy's fighting in the UFC. That guy's fighting in the WWE. Maybe. Kind of blurs that line. So go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
Well, again, so putting back Kevin Nash, NWO, Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior. He did what? Clotheslines, I think.
And the splash and the gorilla press.
And the splash and the gorilla press, right? I think it's overrated for people to just do three things. They're 6'10", 450 pounds, and ruin the Honky Tonk Man's career.
Honky Tonk Man ruined Honky Tonk Man's career.
Well, too.
But Goldberg was Brock Lesnar before there was Brock Lesnar. Like,
Yeah.
look, the MMA guy doing MMA things and beating up, the big fat, Hugh Morris and Hugh Direction and, Hugh Penis and all that.
Yeah,
Was that warrant an undefeated streak?
What's
And
that?
he got to be 100. They forgot, but WCW was so poorly planned and booked, and they didn't realize that the big jacked fella had won like 60 matches in a row. Realized it and started to capitalize on the big freak.
That's
that
true.
wasn't something that got planned. He came out of the power plant. He came out of the training facility, got a match, and he's big and jacked and could really just throw around, Hugh Morris, so he did. And then beating up Glacier, and then 80 matches later, he was winning 16-man tournaments over the weekend, apparently, because if you remember the winning streak, 126-0.
I remember.
The next Nitro, 142-0.
Yeah.
Like, goddamn, Bill's working night and day.
Well, I understand them. That was a really good angle. And, and that's another reason why people don't like Hulk Hogan. And that whole, Kevin Nash, that whole triumvirate. Kevin Nash, Scott Hall.
You have a hatred for Kevin Nash.
He is the
does.
worst thing that has ever happened to wrestling. I'm telling you right now.
Head of hair. You wish that you had a head of hair.
I'm jealous of your head of hair, all right? Not so much
Back
yours.
out of my
Yeah,
face.
yours.
It's always
It's very nice.
Yes.
fabulous, Freddie Flores.
Now,
The best dressed man in OCCW.
now, John, you must be firing up Danny Limelight. I mean, right now he's talking about you don't know what you're talking about. You screwed him over by putting him at number one at the Rumble. He's just John Malice trying to ruin my career. Now he's just all over the place.
The only one, like I said about the Honky Tonk Man, the only person that's going to ruin your career is you, Danny Limelight. And you know what? You wanted in. You wanted a shot at the title. You're walking around. Hey, look at that. You're walking around like the Mr. T of wrestling belts. You know, you're walking, look at all the wrestling belts I have. I want the OCCW champion. Well, this may come as a shock to you, but I don't want my belt on someone's arm next to everyone else's belt. But it is a sport, and you have a right to compete. So I'm giving you the same chance I would give Gusten Uberstüt, Azrael, Freddie Flores. In fact, you were so adamant about your chance, getting your chance, that I gave you your chance first. Now, you may not like it. I may not care, but it is what it is. And on February 23rd, at the Westminster Boys and Girls Club, you can show the world what a world-class champion you are, Danny Limelight, when you walk in and you face 19 other men for your shot.
See, I could teach Danny Limelight a thing or two about winning the Heartbreak City Rumble. I won.
God,
I won last
that
year,
is garbage.
fair.
Freddie Flores was not in the Heartbreak City Rumble. Alexander Vega was not in the Heartbreak City Rumble.
I was.
Where were you? I had you hired and working off somewhere else.
They send their muscle at the time.
You know, you have to come in, you have to work, you have to persevere.
10,000.
Wait a minute. Didn't you come in 30th? Weren't you the last one?
Patience is a virtue. I had to wait for an hour and a half for my opportunity to enter the Rumble. And then I got my hands sweaty with the sweat off of Rudy's back as I pushed that poor little idiot over the top. Number one contender.
I thought
I had to
Othello.
soil my hands.
Hold on there. Didn't Othello do all the work?
And I had to soil my hands touching Rudy. Sure, Othello might have ran through the other 28 guys.
No, Othello was already champ last time.
Yeah, he had another match.
Just like Freddie Flores was champ last year.
You were a tag team
Oh,
champ.
yeah, he did.
Freddie Flores was defending his tag team titles.
So Danny Limelight is saying that he didn't get the same opportunity because he has to come in number one. Got to do the Shawn Michaels. Got to do the Steve Austin. Got to raise some hell, Danny Limelight. Spider-Man's got to take on all six.
Radioactive.
Six guys. Got to fight Dr. Octopus and Venom and
Bonesaw is ready.
goofy little guys, Ratman.
Hey, you know what? There are two
Howard
things
Ryan.
in my life I never thought I would see. One is a fat Marine.
Oh, what?
The other is a whiny Marine. Danny Limelight, what's going on here? You have just completely opened my eyes to the rest of the world. Yeah.
Spider-Man,
You better not gain any weight, Danny.
Oh, man.
Would you change your answer now from Hulk Hogan to Danny Limelight?
No, I won't. No. Because Danny Limelight puts butts in seats. People come to see his little whiny mouth get his ass beat, right? And on the 23rd, people are going to go see, is Danny Limelight really as good as he says? Can he really beat all 20 people in the Battle Royal? We'll find out.
Danny Limelight defeat all of OCCW. We're going to find out on the 23rd.
That's some wrestling.
OCCW versus Danny Limelight.
And he's certainly proved that he can annoy all of OCCW, so you got that going for you.
That boy can adapt and overcome. You better not piss him off too bad. He's going to take a...
That's right, Danny. I'm sure you've heard this before. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. So you want the shot at the title, but now all of a sudden you don't want to face everybody who's going to be coming at you anyway. So you better be ready.
He said he hates your high-pitched voice.
I hate your 3-foot height stature, man.
Oh, dude.
The only guy I've ever seen that made Miles Morales look like a tough guy. You don't
I
know?
wish he was here to respond to you. And
Oh, don't worry. He's
But he
going to say
can't.
something.
You all going to,
Oh, okay, hold on. Jessica Sky Landau says if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. But then we wouldn't have anything.
Yeah,
Just
the show would be very boring.
But you're right, Jessica. You're absolutely right, Fancy Nancy.
I like his abs. I like how many sit-ups Danny Limelight can
That is
obviously
true.
do at a time. We're not going to waste any time punching him in the stomach now,
At
are we? On the 23rd. You know what? I'm going to enter the Rumble, too, because I'm not just going to let all of OCCW. I'm going to be the Morbius to Spider-Man. The vampire.
Yeah, I remember
He's a
Morbius.
vampire.
I mean, you read some books or whatever, and then you're going to be Captain Puerto Rico.
I am not going.
Against Spider-Man.
But the thing is, Limelight's Puerto Rican too.
Oh, that's right. He's Puerto Rican.
So I don't know if I could turn
Are
against
you
my own
gonna be on
people.
the same side? You better not be.
Have you ever been to Puerto Rico?
Freddie Flores is from Puerto Rico.
Okay, have you ever been there?
Absolutely.
Okay, there you go. Well, Danny Limelight has it.
Oh,
So, there you go.
Oh, so he's a coconut.
He's been to...
Hey, let's not talk like that.
but he's been to Brooklyn, which is considered Little Puerto Rico.
See? Danny likes me. I actually have charisma. You know what I mean? Me and Danny Limelight are gonna- we're gonna fight, by God, but we're on the same page as far as the fight.
All right. We're letting this get away.
You, Flores?
You know what? Hold on a second. Danny Limelight, if you really want to come in and try to hijack the show, how about you do this? You actually come in and hijack the show.
He's probably up the street.
You might be up the street. I don't know. Maybe you got Reveille early in the morning. You got to get up early. So this is the last thing you do before bed. So, So we're gonna say goodnight, Danny Limelight, and we're gonna move on to some other topics.
No, I like him. He's
Hey, if you want to talk, come in and talk. Otherwise, what are you gonna do? By the way, thanks for watching, Danny. That's way to be. Let's talk a little bit about AEW and WWE. All right, let's compare and contrast. You be WWE, you be AEW. All right.
Yeah, I'm 7 feet tall and muscular and a grown-sized man, and you're 5 feet tall and do a backflip. Backflip, monkey! Do it!
Now you're AEW.
Do I have to flip my shirt inside out before I start this?
No, just go.
AEW is the best wrestling there is in the world. No doubt about that. We don't need a lot of money. We don't need sponsors. We don't need big TV deals.
TV.
We don't need our own network. We have wrestling.
It's called OCCW.
That's right.
That's right.
What? No, he's AEW. Yeah. Sorry. Okay, all right. So
we have Jungle Boy.
You can feel free to take everyone that I have no interest in, by all means. I have UFC champion Brock Lesnar, and whoever else from the UFC I feel like hiring.
We have the Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes. Hangman Page, half of the Bullet Club from New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Sized men. I have Bobby Lashley, Titus O'Neil, and I'm gonna make
Braun
them
Strowman.
Braun Strowman, by God.
Oh, don't forget EC3, the next big thing for WWE.
What's this?
EC3.
What is EC3?
He's the new dude that he's.
Oh, it's a person.
Yeah, the guy's badass.
It is a person.
He's badass. That guy's gonna be the next big thing.
Tyler, I forgot. He was something else before.
Yeah, look him up. EC3.
Tyler Durden?
No, he used to be in WWE developmental. TNA came back.
That said, okay, now what are you going to do? What are you going to do to defeat AEW?
Besides offer people money,
I'm gonna offer them so much money. I'm gonna drown you in money, AEW. I'm gonna sign away everyone that gets even a little bit over with your little company, cause you've got no chance, no chance in hell.
What's that you say?
we're taking Dean Ambrose.
Okay, what are you going to do to defeat the WWE?
We're taking Dean Ambrose, and we're wearing shirts to all your events, whether you like it or not.
They're going to be wearing shirts.
And Kenny Omega.
And Kenny Omega shirts.
Oh no! I get people while they're still in their prime. I had Jericho when he wasn't fat.
He still sells. We had Cruz.
Come on, come at me, bro. I beat Bill Watts. I beat Mid-South. I bought everything under the sun. If there's a Galactic Wrestling Federation on Mars, I bought that too.
All right. So it's pretty clear.
I'm going to have Cody Rhodes running around like Stardust within 2 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But yet you're threatened.
Not even a little. My ego is not at all threatened by people wearing T-shirts from other organizations that I might not. Oh, Jesus! Cover that up, boy. Yes. Sorry. Yeah. So AEW has a different business model, a little bit like the NWA versus the WWF and its monolithic business empire.
Okay, so let me get this straight. All right, so I don't think that AEW is going to try to bring down the WWE like, say, WCW did, all right? Here's what I think is going to happen. AEW is going to function kind of like Bellator does to the UFC on a different level, right? It's going to draw in viewers and fans that...
Nerds! Hopeless virgin nerds.
Well, yeah, kind of like Star Trek did with Star Wars. You know, everyone watches Star Wars, but Star Trek kind of draws a different crowd, right? And I think there's room for that. I think if, as an independent wrestler, as an independent wrestling promoter, right, I think that you have to respect the idea that there are tiers to this business. And I think that AEW, like Ring of Honor. It might fit somewhere between WWE and Ring of Honor. I think it's going to have its pay-per-view presence, but it's not going to have a broadcast television presence. It's probably not going to be on cable TV. I don't think they're going to run a weekly show. I think they can get by putting on shows, selling tickets to their live events. Maybe once every couple of months or something like that.
They're going to be on TBS.
Are you talking?
Who owns the Jaguars? He has got a bunch of money and a vendetta.
Well, the difference, the thing was, TBS used to be on wrestling used to be on TBS because Ted Turner loved wrestling, right? And then when he lost control of TBS and what is that merger, that Time AOL and all that?
NWO.
Yeah, well,
NWO
that
came
it
to
destroyed, just absolutely destroyed.
and salted the earth, so
But
nothing would grow.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're talking about TNA. Though. That's exactly what they do, though. They run every couple months. They record for a few months or a few weeks taping.
Isn't it called Impact now? Is that what you're talking about? I don't know what it's called. It's called Impact.
Yes.
So no, but
Do you know anything about Impact Wrestling, Azrael?
I do. I went to one of their tryouts.
Really?
Yeah.
What would you say about that tryout?
I obviously did not go well because I'm talking to you.
Oh,
If I had been selected, I would delete all of you from my phone and never be heard from again.
let me tell you this.
But I lost.
I hope I don't hurt anyone's opportunity. I know certain friends that we have don't like the idea that we share our opinions because it might ruin this career down the line. But I think that whole here's some money for me to try out for your show, I think that is a scam. I've seen it before.
I violently disagree.
Absolutely. I've seen it 1,000 times before. I saw it with the Pride auditions. I've seen it with the K1 auditions. Okay, tell me why. Tell me why you don't think it's a scam.
It's $150. It's not $10,000. It's to
How many people
turn
were there?
people away that aren't serious about doing
Sure,
the thing.
sure.
If you don't care about wrestling enough to put together $150, you should fuck off. You should be out of the business in the first place.
Okay.
So it's to limit the number of people that are coming to the thing, so that people that aren't serious, don't have a hope in hell, don't show up.
How many people were there?
They had about 60.
That's it? 60 people?
They had 60 people.
At
At
150.
150.
At $150. So yeah, they made money, but it's people taking time out of their day. You don't think somebody from Ring of Honor can offer you information about your match?
What?
I'm doing exactly what you just
Let's say
said.
somebody from Ring of Honor, somebody from Impact, somebody from Lucha Underground is gonna watch your match
Wait, what,
and give
what
you
just
advice
happened?
about it. Is that not worth $150 to you?
Well, if I really thought that they were interested, and if I thought, look,
I've gotten advice from Vampiro. I've gotten advice from Sonja Dutt.
okay,
I've gotten
okay,
advice
that's great.
from Delirious from Ring of Honor.
That's great.
And it was worth the money.
Okay, good. So, how many people got selected to their thing from
14
that?
guys got on the tape.
14?
In some capacity or other.
No, I mean, is part of their regular
Did they get signed
their
onto
regular
it? No,
roster
they
now.
didn't sign anybody.
Not a single one.
No, they didn't sign.
And do they do that in different parts of the country?
Yeah, they go around to different parts of the country.
Okay. Our next guest is known the world over as the German super fitness guru. He is also the Orange County Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, the inimitable, the incomparable, the... What in the hell are you doing?
Keep going.
Gooston
Accolades.
Thunder Uberstood. Sit up straight, and I don't...
Now, before I get started here, I have a question.
Yeah.
Have we already talked about Hulk Hogan, and have we already talked about Limelight on this show?
Yes.
Then, goodbye, everybody. Everything that needs to be discussed in wrestling has been talked about. We can all go home.
Wait a minute.
Happy now.
We're your number one fan, this Dustin Lawyer Cat, is...
Hello, Dustin.
He's saying that aside from his lobster and his cats, you are the best thing in his life.
Oh my goodness, what a compliment. That man must be something smart or something special. Dustin Lawyer, this belt is for you.
Wow, he's gonna be really thrilled to know that, huh? So tell us, you're not scheduled to defend the title at the Heartbreak City Rumble. Are you going to be in attendance, or are you putting on your fitness seminars around the world?
Well, I'm not scheduled to be in the Rumble. I mean, the champion. I have the night off, you know.
Right.
It's all about who's gonna fight me, you know. So why do I fight?
Technically, there is no number one contender.
That's
Right.
Number one contender.
That's
is
right.
not
So the
selected.
number one contender must be decided. So I will stand by and I will clap and cheer and
Oh, okay. So
hooray.
you will make an appearance.
I will decide
Oh.
where I will be
You're killing me.
when I decide where I will be.
Sound like Bill Cosby over there.
So if you want to see the Uber steward, show up on the 23rd, because, you know, he'd probably be there. You know, he'd probably gonna be there. I don't know.
And so to all the Uber crew, come on out. If Gustin Thunder Uberstud does not make it to the show, I will refund all of your money. Guaranteed. All right?
Everybody buy tickets.
If you're wearing the Uberstud gear, all right? I will refund your money. All right. That said, all right, let's run down the card. We have Richie Slade versus Vintage Dragon on the card. Now we have yet to have Richie Slater Vintage in, and we're gonna work on getting them next week. Exodus is taking on the Amazings. Now the Amazings, Amazing Junior and OC Playboy, OG Playboy. Sorry, wishful thinking.
You can call him OC Playboy. It's your promotion. You call him the Red Rooster if it makes you feel happy.
If you feel you need an OC Playboy, you just give me a call. You have my number.
No. Yes, just call on Tyrone. I get it. We have Danny Moon and Azrael. Frankie Franks will be on the card. We have like I said, there's going to be 20 guys in that ring, one at a time coming at each other. You never know what kind of matchups you're going to get. You're going to have friend versus friend, enemy versus enemy, brother versus brother.
Bull. Sorry.
20 hot, sweaty, oil-lathered men all in one ring. The stuff dreams are made of, right, John?
Yes. Maybe your dreams, not mine.
You put it together, not me.
Yes, but it wasn't a dream of mine. It's an actual athletic contest that we're trying to, promote to the world. I'm sorry if I seem a bit shaken, but
it's gonna be a bowl of yummy in that ring, right?
is that right? I'm about to turn to salt.
Look deep into my eyes, and let's talk more about the 20 sweaty men. Or I'm sorry, the 19 sweaty boys and Danny Limelight with his lathered up abs.
Danny Limelight takes on OCCW.
Lemon scented oils.
Yeah.
A lot of promoters develop a special relationship with their champion. There's your champion. You're the promoter. Like Shawn Michaels and Vince McMahon. A very special bond.
We are the Shawn Michaels and Vince McMahon of Orange County.
And this is the Pat Patterson right here. The Pat Patterson. You want to be a big star?
No, I have no stroke whatsoever.
All right. That said, So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions for Gustin Uberstud, for Azrael, please send them in. Right now, I want to take this time to recognize some of our regular watchers. Let's see, we have Rachel Stanley. Hello, Rachel. All right, we have Jessica Sky. Steve Dodge is sup, my OCCW fam. Raina Reyes is watching. Oh, look, this idiot. All right, let's move on. Alexander Vega.
What are you talking about?
Freddie Flores says La Raza will win the Rumble.
Oh, does it?
The two of them can't
Let's see,
win
we
the
got.
Rumble, though.
What's that? Renee Reyes is watching.
Who is?
Is I'm pronouncing the name right?
Raina.
I'm sorry. Renee Reyes. Sorry, my bad. Steve Dodge.
Yeah, it's a nice set. It's funny what you have when you have things and you don't sit around and just talk about doing stuff.
Oh, yeah, Sean Black's watching, too.
Yeah, he's watching, all right? That's about all he can do. All right, Dustin Lawyer, is the belt made of real gold? Wow, what a great question for you.
Oh!
Well, let's see. Now,
let me see. If it's soft to the bite, that's when you know that it's real.
Don't bite that. Are you kidding me? You're going to get sick. You know how many sweaty men have been all over it? Put that down. You're going to get tetanus in your mouth or something like that.
Like two.
You put just anything in your mouth?
I think just Othello is touched.
It probably tastes like cocoa butter.
Oh, yeah, that's right. All right. So, hey, Joey, we didn't get your opinion on the most overrated and what was the biggest mistake in wrestling? Is that the next one?
Yes, biggest mistake. What do you think? Doomed a company or ruined someone's career or something of that.
Well, you mentioned CM Punk. His what did they call it? Pipe bomb, letter bomb, whatever the hell it was called.
It really changed nothing.
Well, no, it ruined his career, didn't it? You don't think so?
Nah, didn't do that.
All right. So, other than that, I think probably the biggest mistake was maybe. I want to say it was not killing the NWO angle. You know, when it was at its peak, waiting for it to just drain all the life out of everything.
It got weird, man. It was
Every
like
time you turned around, there was 3 factions, and there was like what? I think there were only like 3 guys that I remember, 3 main event guys that didn't go over. One was Goldberg, that didn't go over to NWO or whatever.
Yes.
One was Goldberg. I think one was Diamond Dallas Page.
Yes.
And the other was
Not me.
no, Sting went over.
Sting went to the Red.
He was the
Black.
Red.
For some reason, he liked Kevin Nash.
Who was the other one? Was it Jeff Jarrett?
Nope, that'd be pretty much it. Jeff Jarrett was black and white through and through.
Maybe.
DDP and Goldberg.
Yeah, I think that was it.
Because Goldberg hurt himself, or else he probably.
What about Booker T?
Booker T? Okay, Booker T.
Yeah.
They didn't want Booker T.
Yeah, because he wasn't.
Hulk Hogan didn't want to do business with Booker T.
Yeah, go figure that.
I'll tell you something that bothered me in wrestling.
So
I wouldn't say it was the worst thing that ever happened or the biggest mistake in wrestling, but something that always bothered me when they undid the Undertaker as a dead man and made him a biker.
Yes.
And then they turned him back into the dead man, and you think, well, wait a minute, you kind of already threw the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak. Now you're trying to get the baby back, but the bathwater's gone.
You hear him talk as the biker? My God, man, with the hillbilly, me and Big Show was driving through the desert on Harleys, and we ate the scorpion, got the powers of the scorpion, and the crowd is chanting boring, because it was. And then Jericho came and made fun of it, and they all hated on him.
Yeah.
He called the man boring that was, but it's the Undertaker.
Yeah, you know, I remember that. And
Why? Why get rid of the whole idea of...
Well, I think they were trying to do that whole reality thing. They were trying to, you know, they had on the other station, everyone was using their real names, right? So on this, they were going to try to make it as real world as possible, as plausible as possible. I think part of it was because originally when The Undertaker came out, the kids that believed he was really a dead man from the other side of the friggin' being had grown up to realize that, you know, well, we got to keep that audience still watching us. So, does that make sense?
I wept when the 50-year-old man lost to the recent UFC champion. I was shocked and appalled
No.
that had happened.
Oh, he's more than 50. He's old. He's much older than I am. He's got to be closer to 60.
Joey the Bull.
Joey the Bull.
Fact checker.
So, yeah, and that's another thing.
Who, Undertaker?
Yeah.
CJ has Sable killing Mark Barrow's career.
Oh, that's a real good one. I would have to agree, but goddamn those arthritic hands of Sables.
53.
53?
Yes.
Okay, so he's just a
You're
little
the same
bit-
age.
I'm not 53, you big jerk. God.
So he was about 50
But I mean,
at that time.
I guess so, yeah.
3 or 4 years ago, right?
Sable's chest was able
shit.
to bench press like at least 6,000 pounds.
Shows a
Look
can
at the
crusher.
Development. I mean, I can do about 280 or whatever with these little ones, with these B cups. So you can just imagine Sable cranking. out
Now, is she
reps of
married? Is she
600.
still married
She's
to?
married Brock Lesnar.
Still? Yeah, okay, all right.
She takes the German.
Lance Winters is watching. Bully Zone is got his eyes on. Lance, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to get, what's that other cat's name on Bully Zone?
They're your friends.
Austin Cathy, right? Or whatever his name is. Or Austin Largo. There you go. Have him watching it too. I want to get your opinion, Lance, on what some of the biggest mistakes in wrestling was and who the most overrated was. Joey the Bull, biggest mistake in wrestling.
Biggest mistake is that they didn't show off Lita's boobies when her and the Rated R
Jesus,
Superstar were in
that
bed.
is a serious question.
I'm being serious. I'm Joey the Bull.
But if you remember, Sable powerbombed Mark Merrow. That was the thing. Mark Merrow was going to work Steve Austin next. Steve Austin go, well, who you got for me next? Because he just got powerbombed by a woman.
Right.
Looking like a complete fool.
Didn't he wind up?
Fighter boxer.
Did he wind up with Sable, or was that Deborah McMichael?
It was Deborah.
No, for real, I was upset when Tugboat turned heel.
That was sad.
That was
Why
sad.
did Hogan's friend betray him? Why
Yeah.
do you want to betray poor Hulk Hogan? Remember when Earthquake?
'Cause he's an ass.
No, not on the.
Dude, you know what? No, Hulk Hogan sucked. And you know what? I'll tell you why Macho Man turned on him. I'll tell you why. Because he left him in the ring. He left him in the ring with the Twin Towers to get his ass beat. And they beat on him for like a half an hour. What? Is Hulk Hogan somehow a medical doctor to carry Elizabeth back and... What?
What's Hulk Hogan supposed to do? do? 15 backflips off the top rope? He's 6'6" tall, 300 pounds.
I'm sorry, was he a
He'll
peg?
take a leg drop, that's all he needs to do.
Nolan Ryan won a lot of games with that fastball he just kept throwing over and over.
Not until he went to the American
Mark
League.
McGuire, if he hadn't hit all those home runs, no one would be talking about him.
Well, he hit all those home runs the same way Hulk Hogan lifted all those weights.
With Barry Bonds?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Stone Cold turning heel at WrestleMania 17.
Was that during the invasion angle? Was that when they were doing the invasion angle?
That was just before.
Yeah, that was bad. You know, Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin was so over as the face heel, like the guy who did the right thing but threw the middle finger up, you know? And to turn him heel was just a bad idea. Because you have to make him, like, really dastardly, you know? You couldn't make him a coward.
And they tried. And they tried every crazy thing they could imagine, and the people just didn't buy it.
Yeah.
You know, crapped all over it, you know?
I agree.
Well, Lance Winters from the Bully Zone said the biggest mistake in wrestling, no storytelling.
Biggest mistake in
That's
wrestling,
what?
not enough Lance Winters.
Yeah. Yeah. Lance!
Lance, come on!
Hey, Lance, I bet you Lance Winters wants to be in the Battle Royal, doesn't he? Or is his partner Austin? Yeah, anyway.
You remember the fake Sting? Now, Lex Luger had been Sting's friend for like 20 years or something.
But how
like
many
that.
times did they turn on each other?
A lot of times.
Yeah.
You would think Lex Luger would know what Sting looks like, even if he was wearing like a hat. You know, he could probably recognize his friend of 15 years. So the NWO has the fake Sting. If you don't remember,
I remember the fake Sting. That was he
Some
also
guy.
he played what was he? He was something else. Anyway, go ahead.
So the fake Sting comes out, says that he's with the NWO, and Lex Luger, you doubting Thomas, you are a Judas. You broke Sting's heart, and then he went full on with the Crow stuff because Lex Luger did not believe in his friend Sting.
For a year and a half, Sting hung out in the rafters, and we were waiting and waiting and waiting. And when he finally came out and jumped into action, what did we get?
That is what I think is the biggest mistake in wrestling. A year and a half of the NWO crushing WCW.
Yeah.
Peeing on the logo of WCW. Announcers getting powerbombed through tables. And Sting, the Crow, the Avenger, who hadn't talked in a year and a half, comes down and proceeds to get it pushed in by Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan beat him like
It looked like a squash match, the world's longest squash match, right?
Hulk Hogan threw him around for whatever reason, and Sting let himself get thrown around.
That is the real American.
Yes!
Yes. He was fighting for the rights of every man.
Every man except Sting or WCW. And then Bret Hart comes out for no reason because it's the thing that happened with WWF the month before.
Right.
Why would WCW have its own story that doesn't have to do with WWF? Because they couldn't think of anything without Vince McMahon. So Bret Hart comes out, restarts the match after Hulk Hogan had won.
Yeah, he like grabs the hammer out of it. Yeah, it was so bad. And I just remember sitting there with my friends and going, wait, he didn't even kick out. He didn't even kick out.
It was supposed to be a slow count like this.
Yeah.
Count like this, referee. 1, 2, but then Hulk Hogan gets a hold of the referee. He's like, you're 1, 2, 3, man.
Yeah.
And sure enough, Sting looks like an idiot.
Yeah. You know what? I'd have to agree with that. I'd say that because after that, it was all downhill for WCW.
Yep,
It started
was the
losing
bullet
the rating. And, people stopped buying the pay-per-views if you're getting some crap endings like that.
Yep.
I mean, that was ridiculous. I was like, and then the next night, the announcers are trying to put it over as, oh, no. I was like, why would you do that? Why not address it like they did the Montreal screw job, Why not just... But, yeah, they tried to cover it up, and they made it worse, and it was just awful. You're right. You know what? I am in 100%. That
why
ruined...
WCW was out of business.
And not only did it ruin Sting, not only did it ruin WCW, I think an argument can be made that it ruined wrestling as we knew it because there was no longer a two-party system. It was now an autocracy.
So Sting let everybody down pretty bad on that night.
I guess. Wow, that was pretty terrible. You know what? Now I'm depressed. I really am because I actually sat and witnessed the end of what the kind of wrestling that I loved into, what it is now.
Next year they had tried to do the same thing that they had with Sting with Goldberg, and then Goldberg gets to Kevin Nash, and Kevin Nash hits him with the cattle prod.
Yeah.
Scott Hall gets him with the cattle prod, and then they beat him because they have the build of Goldberg going through the NWO again because they pissed away Goldberg versus Hogan on Nitro to win that week of ratings like a bunch of idiots. Blew millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So AEW, don't do any of those things. Those are all bad things. Weekly television ratings are overrated. You want to make money at pay-per-views. And hopefully they will.
Got a lot of
You
watchers.
don't need to be depressed anyway. Look at all you have.
Right,
Right here.
Beautiful
Right
city.
at this table, the skyline, the view, the sunset with your favorite men. Come, turn. Let's just enjoy this together
Right?
for a moment.
Is that Inglewood in the background? Are we gonna
Los
take that
Angeles.
over? Yeah, Inglewood. Oh, yeah. Well, Inglewood is in Los Angeles.
Kind of.
We should. Hey, I heard there's a big announcement coming out of Inglewood
What?
soon.
No.
Soon, there's gonna be a big announcement coming soon. All right. Isaac Molina says Brock ending the streak.
That was also terrible. That made me feel sad.
Another one. Oh,
But then, like, why not end the streak and then that should have just been like, okay, I'm done. But then he comes back and
They tried to redo the
then
streak.
they try to redo the streak, but then he loses another match and then he supposedly retires. Like, why are you
You don't
going
have
back
so
and
many
forth?
retirement matches.
Yeah,
So,
like-
like now is this, he's just
Well,
active.
you know what? The thing was, Goldberg was, like you said, they caught lightning in a bottle. They didn't realize it. And his gimmick was the streak, right? And because he was so green and had so little experience, they couldn't do anything else with his character. He couldn't become just this wrecker that had been wrong. He couldn't become like the Paul Kersey of WCW. You know Paul Kersey?
No.
You know Paul Kersey? Charles Bronson in Death Wish, just going and mowing down the bad guys,
Okay.
right? He didn't have the chops to just take his juggernaut of a self and run with it. They had to restart the streak because he was too green, and they didn't have enough cohesion backstage in the creative process of WCW. And Eric Bischoff, if any of you listen to that podcast, nothing is more fun than listening to him backtrack and try to cover his own ass for the incompetency and the arrogance that crashed, to me, my favorite wrestling organization.
Everybody blames everybody else. Standards and practices
No,
don't
yeah.
let me show boobies. So that's
Yeah,
why it's
exactly. And he
ratings
was
go
like,
down.
when the merger went through, they took all our money. It's
They
like,
let me light Vampiro on fire that one time. I wanted
If you
to.
want me to show my boobies to help your ratings, John Malice, I will do it just for you. I take your silence as a yes.
Did you read Seville's comment in the bottom?
I'm reading it right now. What three guys will
no,
make
don't
it
read it. That guy, don't give that guy
But
any
he
airtime.
wants
He's a fellow Puerto Rican like Freddie Flores.
First dude in Flores to go to NJPW, and the dojo was in LA. So there's Los Angeles.
This
right
is
behind
happening.
me. So it's close.
Do you have?
Oh my God, what are you doing?
You
Look at
said
him
that
work
you wanted me to show my boobies.
I did not say
You
that.
said you wanted ratings.
I do want ratings. I don't think that's going to do it though. Let's put your boobies away. You got some stubble going on. Come on, put the
Just take it off. Take it off.
no put your,
The ladies want to see you take it
Can
off.
I borrow your razor?
no. You can't borrow my razor. I haven't used it. My head's kind
Who
of
do you think
stubbly.
is the
We
future
can-
of OCCW? You have your champion. You have maybe a #1 contender. Who's that gonna be? Let's bet.
Okay. Well, every time I put a show, yeah.
Danny Limelight is the future.
Me, I'm gonna be in it. 18 other dudes are gonna be in it that hate him, and I'm not gonna let him win for nothing.
The future of
I'm sorry if you wanted to wrestle Danny Limelight. I'm probably gonna screw.
Danny, I'm not concerned all about the I'm #1, the boo hoo. Maybe Danny.
Hey, Danny, you still out there, bro?
About what happens if he does win the Rumble. He's got to come in here with all of this, and then we're going to see some ratings. Right, John?
Absolutely.
His middle name is Thunder, by God.
My middle name is Thunder. Boom, 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 boom. Watch out, Danny Limelight. The Thunder's coming. John, are you sure you don't want me to...
Yes, keep your chest in.
What's your middle name? Johnny Lightning Malice? Johnny Terror Malice? Johnny something Malice.
Forethought.
Hey, give me a quarter.
Forethought?
Yeah, forethought.
That don't make a damn bit of
Yes,
sense.
my name is Malice and Forethought.
John Malice,
Okay.
do you have
Yeah.
a quarter? I want to try something.
Legal thing.
Yes.
Sounds like a legal thing we're doing. Well, there's Fighting Freddy Flora. B.A. Marcus Frey is a good choice for the future.
Psych!
Oh my. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for Azrael.
Wait,
for,
hold on.
What's he doing?
ladies and
Early.
gentlemen, thank you for tuning into the Royal Ramble.
Still got 5 minutes. You still got 5 minutes of the show, John.
Not do that.
Let's see.
I got it though. I can do it.
Standards and practices are killing WCW.
OCCW.
OCCW. I can bring the ratings up right now.
No.
I want to take off my shirt.
Joey, take off your shirt.
Hold on.
Come on over. Yes.
No, do not. Do not. I will cut the power right here and now. Joe. Ladies and gentlemen, for Azrael, this is Orange County Championship Wrestling, the Royal Ramble. Have a good night.